Hey guys, what's up? It's JT here with another video, and in this video we're gonna be going over a life story that I'm surprised I haven't even gone over yet. I mean, I've gone over first time dipping, I've gone over first time tripping on acid. I think those are the two main life stories I've done so far, which are much harder than first time smoking, and it seems like such a generic one to do, but for some reason I totally fucking left it out, so I apologize for that. But without any further ado, let's get right into this one. Okay, so this takes place about almost 2 years ago now. So almost 2 years ago, I did take my first puff out of the devil's lettuce itself. It was a bit of a frightening experience. I had just gotten out of military school. I was only there for about maybe eight weeks, right? I get out of military school, and immediately, I got out of military school going into ninth grade. So I was a middle schooler going into it, right? Or kind of I was going into ninth grade, so I was kind of a ninth grader going into it, right? I'd started the year, but most of my weeks in military school had pretty much comprised of just working out and PT, things that are not very much fun, right? So those were the things that kind of were the main thing. We had started school, but we didn't really do much. But anyways, so that's pretty much the start of military school. I'd started it, and then I'd left. So that's for a whole another life story. That's a big story. So stay tuned for that one. But anyways, so this is right after military school. I just want to give you guys a little backdrop so you guys just don't be like, whoa, military school, what the fuck? I know it's a lot to drop. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of some information before we went into that, okay? So I get back from military school. I'm back in Miami now. Okay, so I'm back in Miami, and now I'm starting high school now. I'm in ninth grade. So now I'm in ninth grade, and I'm just thinking, and I've been thinking about this in military school. Holy shit, I almost just missed out on a whole fucking high school, because when I was in military school, the first thing I was always thinking about was, wow, I'm missing out on so much high school activities like parties, drinking, bud, whatever, the whole 9 yards, girls, I'm missing out on all this stuff, right? Which is part of the reason why I ended up leaving military school. Again, another story, it's a crazy one, so stay tuned for it again. But, through the whole thing that I was thinking about in military school, I was just thinking, wow, these are all the things I'm going to be missing. So, naturally, as I got out of military school, I had a lot of catching up to do. I had 8 weeks to catch up for, boys. 8 weeks of not experiencing things that the other high schools had already experienced, right? So I had to catch up. I was playing catch up, boys. So when I got back, I naturally decided, okay, where should we start? Drinking or smoke bud for the first time? Naturally, I decided I already had a friend, so I said, who did it? So I said, all right, I'm gonna smoke some weed for the first time. I just wanted to try it. I was very curious about it, extremely curious about it, so I did. So this takes place probably second month of school. And in the second month of school, I had gotten reconnected with all my friends from before. I'd been living in Miami for like 3 years, right? And I got reconnected with my friends and some new friends, right? And one of my older friends who had been smoking for a while now, I go up to him, I say, hey, bud, I'm trying to smoke. Do you know if we could do it this weekend or something like that? I really want to try it for the first time. He immediately got very excited, as most potheads do when they introduce a new person to the pack. So, yeah, so, he goes, okay, yeah, no problem, let's do something this week. So, naturally, I was very fucking nervous, I'll be honest. I was extremely fucking nervous. I had pictured it like how it is in the movies. In the movies, I have a very good job in pretty much blowing things completely out of proportion to the point where they're just unrealistic, because I had thought I was going to trip. Because I didn't know anything about acid or Molly or anything like that, or any psychedelics for that matter. So, I was extremely nervous. I had no fucking clue about this stuff. It just completely scared me. Just the concept of smoking was just like, okay, I want to experience it, but I don't want to get crazy high. I don't want to just get high forever, because I thought that was a possibility too. I thought that if you just did it once, there's a slim possibility that you could just stay high forever, right? That's what I thought. So I was very nervous. Needless to say, I have to bring a friend along. So I bring a friend along. And I convinced him to try it for the first time with me. So I do bring one, okay? So I bring one, and we meet in this sketchy-ass park. I mean, this is straight out of just, like, I don't know, a horror movie. It's a very scary park. It's a very ghetto, scary park in Miami, okay? So we meet in this park. And I'm here with my other friend who had been smoking for a while, and then the friend who I brought along, okay? We all threw in our money and gave it to the friend of mine who had been smoking for a while, okay? Along come another friend of mine who, well, he wasn't much of a friend, he was more of an acquaintance, okay? he comes along, squaddling along with this very big, ominous figure. Okay, this man looks, he looks so like crazy ghetto. I mean, it scared me. I mean, I pissed my pants. I mean, I looked at him. He had all sorts of metal accessories all over his face, along with multiple tattoos. I mean, only pretty much looking like, the only comparison I give him is possibly close to like Stitches, if you guys know that rapper. He kind of looked sort of like him. And you just had this kid who was very short and stubby walking with this extremely large, scary man who was obviously at least 10 years older than this kid. So it was pretty scary to see that. And that just turned me off so much. I was just so fucking scared. But they were all bros, and then I just have me and my other friend, and we're just there like, okay, well, we're this far, so we just fucking can't go back now. So the short kid, which was the acquaintance of mine, and his big friend go walk away with the money. And they say, okay, we're going to go pick up from that car over there, over yonder. We'll be back in a second. Just stay right here. So I said, okay. We're all waiting. They come back 3 minutes later. I'm like, okay, we got it. So I'm like, all right, so we're just going down. And they're like, we're going, and I shit you not, boys. I shit you not. We're going to the place called the Butthole. I swear I couldn't make this up. The place was called the Butthole, and it's still called to this day, okay? It was like a childhood spot, okay, to smoke weed. It was like the spot of spots, okay? It was, I swear to you, called the Butthole. So we're walking over to the Butthole. Okay, I mean, this isn't a corny joke, boys. I'm telling you, I swear to you, this is what it was called. It was called the Butthole. Okay, I'm moving past it. Butthole. Okay, that's it. So we're walking past, to this place called the Butthole. Okay, and we're walking past the streets. It's like not too late out. I mean, it's like night out, but it's like 9 o'clock maybe. Right? It's Friday. I told my parents I was gonna go eat out somewhere with my friend, and so we're going to the Butthole, and we're walking, and we finally make it there. And in getting there, I finally realized why it was called the Butthole. Because it was as shitty as a butthole. It was like a really ghetto spot. And I guess the ghetto people who had designed the name or come up with the name of the Butthole decided it was so shitty, they decided to call it the Butthole. So that's why it was called the Butthole. Because it was very shitty. And it also kind of looked like a butthole physically, because it was this big PNC bank, like 30 stories high, And in the back of it, there's a back alley, and it kind of just curves in, and it kind of had this outline of a butthole or a bosom of a cartoon character or something like that. So that kind of made a comparison to that. So that could have been also why it was called the Butthole. But there was a lot of uncanny resemblances to the butthole of a butthole. So that's why it was called the Butthole, as I found out later on. So we sit in the Butthole, and we all take out our blunts. And I don't know how to roll, obviously, so they're all rolling, having their time of their lives. And obviously, we begin chiefing. I don't know how to hold a blunt, so I'm just kind of holding it like a very awkward cigarette, and I kind of wish I had a face cam to show you. But if it was the most fixed position to hold your pointer finger and your middle finger, that's exactly how it looked. I mean, I was trying extremely hard to hold this in a fashionable way. I had held the blunt in such a very strict maneuver. Everyone had looked at me and just been like, dude, what are you doing? Just use your thumb and your index finger, man. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. So obviously I reposition it. I stumble on it. I fucking drop it because I look like a fucking dunce, right? I pick it up and I'm like, okay. So like this, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I go, okay. So I take my first hit. Okay. I didn't inhale. Needless to say, about a second later, I'm coughing my guts out. I am literally coughing just so fucking much. I feel like I'm gonna throw up off of one hit, guys. I'm one hit in and I'm already looking like a rookie. And I had really come into here looking like I was gonna conquer the world. I had really tried my best to just come into here and look as experienced as possible, but it was impossible. I couldn't do it. So I just start coughing uncontrollably, looking like a rookie and a dunce and a butthole. So I pass it. The blunt gets passed on, and now it's my friend's turn. The friend that I brought along. After learning from my mistake, he learned how to properly hold the blunt. So now it's his turn. He takes his hit. He does it actually pretty well, but a second after, he starts coughing like a bitch. So now we're all coughing. Now my eyes feel extremely fucked up, and I feel extremely uncomfortable to be around 5 males for some reason. I don't know why, I just felt extremely uncomfortable. I don't know, I guess it was the paranoia setting in. So we walk out. As we're walking out, I realize that I'm not high. I'm like, oh, I'm not even high right now. But when in reality, I was just balls off the walls, boys. I was as not as myself as one could possibly be, okay? So we're walking down the street, and now at this point, the big sketchy guy had left, and it was just that acquaintance friend that I was telling you about, my friend who had introduced me to it, and my other friend who had tagged along. So it was just us. And we're deciding to go to a place to get Munchies. So we decided to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, because as any place that's high in calories, it's great for stoner food. So we're walking over to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and immediately my friend who I'd brought along cannot stop talking, and he is talking uncontrollably. And I have a very short temper when I am not of the state of mind that I am currently in, right? And I have a very, very, very short temper when I'm on that stuff. So I get very mad at him. I said, please, buddy, can you please shut up? And he just keeps talking to himself. And I swear, boys, he's talking to himself. I mean, he's just mumbling on about, I think he was talking about Nelson Mandela, and then he starts talking about some Brazilian people. This guy's from Brazil. So he starts talking about some Brazilian people and then singing in Portuguese. I mean, he's just talking to himself, and I just can't. I just like, buddy, just shut up. And he won't do it. Anyways, needless to say, we keep walking. I'm extremely timid and pissed. We walk into Kentucky Fried Chicken. My friend, the short one, the acquaintance, not really my friend, but the acquaintance, right, walks in and he goes, all right, so what are you guys getting? I can't even order. I'm incapable. I don't have the mental capacity to order. My friend who had been mumbling to himself, being the most high, right, goes, I'll just buy for all you guys. And I don't think this was a very high decision of his. It was a very mighty, bold statement to make, because he just offered to just pretty much slice everyone out completely, and, you know, he just didn't really know. So my other two friends were just laughing. They're just like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead. We'll just, just buy a bunch of whatever, and we'll just take whatever you have. So they go, okay. He had $40, boys. And at a Kentucky Fried Chicken, $40 is ample to buy everything on the menu. And he bought about at least 7 orders of something, right? I don't remember what the fuck it was, but he bought a lot of things. Spent all his $40, in fact. So he spends his whole $40 in buying all of us Kentucky Fried Chicken. I take a bite of 5 biscuits, maybe. Have some high carbs chicken. Take a bite out of that, and I'm just about done. I'm ready to call it a night. So I walk back home with my friend Gigi, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we walked back home. Luckily, my mom wasn't home. She just left to go out to dinner with my father. It was pretty much mission success from there. We walked back home. We split up with my friends. We say our goodbyes, and that was it. We walked back to my house. Sleeps over and wake up feeling pretty good. No hangover, as you guys probably know with weed. There's no hangover. But that was the very uneventful but yet eventful night of the first time I smoked weed. Anyways, so if you guys enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment or suggestions of videos that you guys want me to do in the future. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you guys want videos similar to this one. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.